Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Nay of Nay's Daily. I am a Cameroonian YouTuber. I'm based in the States. Guys, I'm more than elated. Can you guys believe that we have got to the level of 250 subscribers? It really warms my heart, guys. I don't know how to express it. And now I'm shooting a video that was asked by a subscriber for me to shoot, guys. A subscriber. Thank you guys so much for making the videos engaging. I cannot begin to explain how much this means to me. Thank you guys so much, like from the depths and depths of my heart. Thank you. So today's video is going to be about job interview and tips to get a job. So a subscriber asked me to talk about like job interviews, the question they ask during job interviews, and probably tips on how to get the job. But first, if you have not subscribed yet, please rush right now. You hit on that subscription button, you do hit on that notification bell, so each time I upload a video you will be the first to know, guys. And on that note, guys, let's get into the video. So I always start by saying, not always start, okay, interviews, like for most interviews, like it's universal. The questions like they ask on the questions they ask in if you were to interview for, if you have to interview for, let's just say a receptionist, a star processing tech, it's almost similar. They just have like different, they just have like slight similarities. It's not that it's not, the difference is not that big. So I always just say, once you're preparing for an interview, be it in sterile processing or whatever field you find yourself in, it's universal. You understand? And for most, first rule first, guys, once you're going for an interview, try not to be nervous. I know it's difficult, but try not to be nervous, because once you're nervous, they sense your nervousness. And like if they ask you things and these are things that are easy, or these are things that you know, or things that you can easily just like, just with just with your finger you could talk about it, but just the fact that you're nervous, it makes you forget. So I always say, try as much as possible not to be nervous. So for most cases, they always ask about your background, like if it's in sterile processing, I'm going to talk about sterile processing, they're going to ask you about your background. So with such a question, I always just believe that you have to, it's not like with such questions, guys, you always just have to talk about like the hospital, you like your career, like your you always have to talk about like your professional career. You talk about like the hospitals you worked in prior to coming to sterile, I mean prior to coming to that particular hospital, like your number of, you can talk about your number of years in the field, and you know. But when it comes to that question, like about your background, it's mostly about the other hospitals you have worked in before coming to sterile processing. I mean, sorry, I keep saying this, before coming into that hospital. So if you, and if it's your first time into a new job and they ask you about your background, it's very much okay for you to talk about the other fields you worked in prior to coming to sterile processing. For, let's say you were a receptionist, you can talk about your background being a receptionist before coming into sterile processing. So yep. And I even wrote down some points. From time to time I'll be looking down, yeah. And then and if, yeah, I've already talked about that point, talking about the other, like if it's your first time into the job of sterile processing, you should, I mean, if it's your first time, like, because the person that asks this question is the person is just getting into the field of sterile processing. So they asked me to make a video talking about like tips that will help them get better jobs, or get more acquainted into finding jobs for sterile processing. So you just talk about your other jobs prior to getting into sterile processing. And if you have been working sterile processing here, you are more than welcome to talk about your other hospitals and things. Guys, let's not dwell on this point too much. The other point they always ask is like, why should they hire you? This is a point that goes through all other jobs. Like, I mean, this is a universal question they ask for almost all jobs. Like, why should they hire you? You should give them reasons why they should hire you. So I know that that one reasons might differ from person to person, so that question to they always ask. And then another reason is why you stand out. I think it's also the same like reasons why they should hire you. And then for those in sterile processing, sometimes they might ask a question, they might ask questions related to sterile processing, like you should talk about the circle in, like you should talk about for instance, they might ask you to talk about the circle, like how things run in the sterile processing department. Yeah, like the life cycle in sterile, in the sterile processing department. From that, I mean, with that question, I always just I approach it by talking about like the steps in sterile processing. Like you talk about decontam, you talk about the decontam, you talk about cleaning, you talk about prep and pack, you talk about sterilization, you talk about storage. So because it's a circle, and then the OR back to decontam. So that is the circle, and that is the life of the sterile processing department. And then another question is, I mean, they might not necessarily ask you about that question, but they might ask you questions related to sterile processing. So you should always be prepared. Like, just know your stuff when it comes to sterile processing. But they really don't ask like difficult questions. It's just one or two here. And then, guys, before before I end this video, guys, there's another important thing when it comes to the, because after you've answered all those questions, and then they'll actually, there's another question to they always ask, like imagine a scenario where you get into conflict with your co-worker. I mean, that's why I say it's universal. These are universal questions, so don't kill yourself trying to prepare for an interview in sterile processing, or yeah, an interview in sterile processing. Just know that the same questions you answer for other interviews that are not in sterile processing jobs is the same questions you have to answer once you apply for a sterile processing job. That's why I say they might just differ a little bit. They might ask you about questions relating to sterile processing. So that's why I say you should prepare. And then last but not the least, guys, I want to talk about money. When it comes to sterile processing, like when it comes to money, guys, please don't sell yourself short. If you want to be paid this amount, let them know you want to be paid this amount. I made that mistake on several interviews, and I ended up selling myself short because people that came in after me, and people that I even showed how I even people that came in to do 400 hours, like when they were done with their 400 hours, they were making more money than myself that was really in that hospital. So that's why I always tell people, if you want to be paid this amount, tell them this is the amount you want. Don't sell yourself short. Use your mouth to ask for what you want. So on that note, I hope this video helps you. I hope it helps you get the job you want. Just put in the back of your mind that it's not, the interview questions are not very different from all interviews you've been at. It's almost the same thing, just the slight difference with questions in relation to sterile processing. So whoever is looking for a job out there, if you're new in sterile processing, good luck. If you've been in the field for long and you're still looking for a job, good luck to you out there. I pray you find that dream job, you know. Well, on that note, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. And on that note, see you on my next one. Bye.